Go. Hey, this is Todd, Red River Tactical and Outdoors, at the range today with the new gun, and this is the FN 509. I've been wanting to get this gun for a while, test fire it. I had the FNS 9 for a while, really liked the FNS 9, it was a good gun. Now they've come out with the FN 509, so we're going to talk a little bit about this gun today, and might go into a little more detail than what I usually go into on some of the guns, because I have some things that just really drive me crazy about this gun and some things I really like about this gun. So we'll get started. This gun is not mine. It is practically new. I think it's had about 200 rounds shot through it before I've got it. We put about 250 rounds through it today, and it functioned flawless. The only problems we had, we shot 124 grain out of it, and I don't know what name brand those was. They was fine. We shot 115 grain Federal, no issues. Shot 115 grain steel case Tula, no issues. And we shot about 2 or 3 mags of reloads. The only problem we had with the reloads, and the reloads was loaded kind of light, but the only problem we had with the reloads is it wouldn't lock the slide back on the last round. And understandably so, because it has a real heavy recoil spring in this. It's not light at all, so it's got a real heavy recoil spring in it. So I figured that's what the issue was. So if you are going to shoot reloads through this gun, don't load them light. Load them to factory specs or a little heavier. But again, the Tula steel case 115 grain, Federal 115 grain that you buy at Walmart ran flawless through this gun. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the gun. It does have front cocking serrations and rear cocking serrations, and they are very aggressive. And that's a good thing, because of that steel recoil spring. You're going to need to get a good grip on that, but you can, and you can rack the slide back fairly easy with it. The sights on this one's come with 3-dot luminescent sights. They're not night sights. They do look like night sights in the daytime because they glow a little bit in the daytime. At dark, you cannot see them at all, so they're not night sights. They do, however, have a good shelf for one-handed manipulations on the rear sights. It's real tall, real easy to manipulate that firearm off your belt or just off your clothes. So that's a great thing. If this were my gun, I would black those back 2 dots out, because I don't like 3-dot sights. The controls are ambidextrous as far as the mag release goes and as far as the slide release goes. So at left-handed, you can release the slide from the slide release on the left-hand side of the gun, which some guns you can't do that on. So I always put that in there if you can. The grip texture on this gun, the stippling on it is very, very aggressive. I love it. Some people might not like it because they might think it's too aggressive, but when you hold this gun properly, you're going to have indentions on your hand. Very aggressive stippling, so a good job FN on the stippling. I love that. The trigger on this gun, I think, is a little worse than the trigger on the FNS 9. The take up is gritty on it, and then this gun's new, so it might break in. But from the side, the take up right there is a little gritty, and then the brake is not a crisp, clean brake. The brake has a mush, kind of a mush feel to it. That's on the first trigger pull. The reset is fairly nice on the gun. Now it still has that little bit of a mush brake to it, but it's got a good tactile and audible reset on the gun. But just that first pull, it's like I said, it's a little gritty. See what else? Let's take the gun down. To take the gun down, we're just going to lock slide to the rear. Hit this takedown lever right here. Push it down. Let the slide go. Pull the trigger. The slide comes off. Again, typical FNS 9 style. This gun is heavily oiled, but real beefy slide lock up right there. Again, looks like the FNS 9 inside the slide. The recoil spring don't look like much, but that recoil spring is really heavy. Getting the barrel out, the barrel is just normal looking barrel. Putting it back together, just reverse your steps. Make sure that that recoil spring is set in there perfect. If you don't, you will have issues getting it back together. Test for function, it's good to go. Now, the thing that really drives me crazy about this gun is the size of it. Alright, it's got the slide in the barrel is identical to a Glock 19. A little over 4 inches, I think. But the grip on this gun is the exact size of a Glock 17. So it's got the subcompact slide with a full-size frame. I don't understand why people do that, because when you're trying to conceal a gun, the size of the slide really don't matter. It don't matter how long it is. The concealable part is always the frame. So I would love it if a company made a full-size slide, 4.5 to 5 inch barrel with a subcompact frame. That would make all the sense in the world. 15 round frame with a full-size slide, it would be perfect. But this drives me crazy. I don't understand why they want to put a full-size grip on a subcompact slide. And that's just my rant. And it's not just with FN, there's other companies that do that. But if you're a gun company out there and you happen to see this video, you might want to think about making a full-size slide with a subcompact frame. I think that would be great. What else about this gun? The gun tends to shoot point of aim, point of impact. Again, I'm a Glock shooter, so a lot of times if I wasn't paying attention when I was shooting, probably because of the grip angle and the trigger pull, I was shooting. It was easy for me to shoot low left with this gun, but when I was really taking my time, I was hitting what I wanted to. We shot all the way back to 50 yards with this gun, and again, it looked to be point of aim, point of impact. So no hold over or 6 o'clock hold or anything like that. Magazines, I do want to talk about these. Magazines do not tend to drop free from this gun, even though they're metal. Now that I say that, they're going to drop free. But when we was shooting, we tended to have, there we go, to have to come up here and pull the magazines out. The reason being is this mag release is not user-friendly at all to me, because what happens is it's ambidextrous, the same on both sides. So when I'm hitting the mag release, when I noticed that I was having to come up and pull the magazine out of the gun, just like now, what's happening is when I push the magazine release with my thumb, it's hitting my middle finger over here, and it's not letting the mag release. If I change my grip to where the magazine release is clear on the other side, the magazine drops free. But that's me rotating my grip around. If I don't rotate my grip around and hit the magazine release, the magazine's released right now, but it's not dropping. Even if I hold it upside down and shake it, it's not dropping. But if I come up here and grab it, I can pull it out. And that is because I can feel the ambidextrous mag release hitting my middle finger on the other side. So don't like that at all. They should have just made it reversible. But it's got a good feeling mag release, but I don't like that fact. Other than that, I really like the gun. It's got the standard 1913 Picatinny rail on the bottom, which is fine. I actually like that better than the Glock rail. Wish Glock would change theirs, but that's probably not going to happen. So I don't think there's anything else for me to say about this gun. It does come with interchangeable back straps, so it comes with 2 back straps to fit everyone's hand. The gun feels great in the hand. It feels really good, a lot like the FNS 9 did. Comes with 2 magazines, 2 17-round magazines, and this nice little carry case here. Then it's got your normal instruction booklet in there. FN makes good guns. I expect the gun to work fine. It does. Just remember, if you're going to put reloads in it, load them heavy, don't load them light, and you won't have any trouble with them. This is Todd, Red River Tactical and Outdoors, and this is the FN 509 by FN. So be safe, always be ready.